You went from 5 songs
Yep.
and in 1 year, 125 songs, did you say finished?
Yes.
With
Yes.
you're working with now 6 companies, one
Yep.
exclusive, five non-exclusive, and you've had 28 placements.
Yes.
Did I get that all right?
Yes.
So now that you have graduated Breakthrough, you finished your year. Tell me some of the things that, first of all, that you felt like you learned the most from experiencing Breakthrough.
What didn't I learn? I mean, I came in there literally knowing nothing. I didn't even really know what sync was. I've learned how to produce my own music. I can record music, tune a line, comp my own vocals at home. I can make my own productions.
Because you weren't working, were you working with the DAW prior
No, I
to?
didn't even know what a DAW was.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I learned everything. And also with the briefs that we would have, I write every day now and I write with so many different people. I can turn around a song in 24 hours and people are just like, "What?" And also I never top line to tracks before. I did some mentoring with Lauren Dyson and
Mhm.
I watched how she worked and I can do it now. Like when I first started working with her and I watched how she top lined, I was like, what? I can't do that. I get a track now, 15 minutes, boom, melody, top line done. I have
So you
learned,
learned, you learned production, you
uh-huh.
learned top lining, you
Yep,
learned writing to briefs,
yep,
you learned collaborating with other people from
yep.
the whole thing. You said 24 hours getting a song done, and that speed, like you said, when people hear of it or even they see you get a song done that fast, what's the reaction that people have?
They're like, how did you do this?
Yeah.
I don't even understand. And people do comment a lot on my professionalism, but I learned that in Breakthrough, like how to send proper emails. Oh, something really interesting. And I thought of you the other day. I went to a music conference and I met this really nice guy there who was speaking. And I asked him, I'd love to connect and follow up. And I waited, maybe like 3 or 4 days. I sent him a really nice email. He called me because he really liked my music. And he said, I just wanted to commend you on how professional you are because some people hit me up like literally an hour after the conference. And I'm like, do they not know I have to fly home? And he's like, your email was so professional. It was so organized with your disco link and everything laid out. And he's like, he said to me, I couldn't believe your split sheets were in there. Like people don't even know what split sheets are. And I was like, yes, I learned. And Breakthrough also taught me the business aspect. Like I know what needs to get done in the beginning, the one stops, the split sheets, discussing everything in the beginning. And also, I've made lifelong friends. I'm people that I did Breakthrough with. Just yesterday, I spoke to Dave, Antoinette, Chris, Ram I spoke to last week. I talk to Chris every day, but and Holly, I've made lifelong friends who we talk pretty much every single day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of breakthroughs.
I've had 1,000 breakthroughs and I've
It's
signed. And when I started Breakthrough, I had a dream. I had a few dreams in my head, but like I had a dream agency I wanted to sign with and I wrote it down like in my vision, like not a vision board, but like my vision list. And I signed with them 2 weeks ago. Yes, I signed with Marmoset as an artist, which was like insane. Yep. And since Breakthrough started, I've gotten 28 placements, which is insane. I know. It's wild. It's crazy. I remember I told you like I wanted when people say like what do you do for a living? I wanted to be like I'm a songwriter, but I can't say it. I'm not making money doing it. Now people say what do you do for a living? I say I'm a songwriter.
beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember when you first came, you said that was something that you wanted, and you like
Yep.
wanted it bad. And we're like,
Yep.
we got to set up all the fundamentals. We got to set up all the foundation, right? You
Yep.
can't
And I
stack the
formed a
deck.
band since I started and we've been touring. We're doing a tour next weekend. I've been all over. We just played a festival. We had 200 people there, like in the venue watching us. It was crazy. And they were singing my lyrics back to me. I was like, what world is this?
It's the world that you're creating.
I know. It's been
Yeah, it's the
awesome.
world you're creating. This is
Yeah.
beautiful because I remember the first conversations we've had, And I remember your honestly, like your want for making into music so bad. It's like this passion that you had, which not everyone has. You know, people say
Yeah.
they want things, but they don't always want to put in the work. And I remember I talked to you and you'd be like, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And you were constantly working. You weren't taking away the work. And there was things that you had to work around to figure out. But you were like, give me the work and I will do it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then I remember we'd have calls and you're like, but when's it going to happen? I was like, just give it time. Once your
Yeah.
music starts going into the system, it takes a little time because there's other people who've been there and that your songs have to go into the meetings and people have to listen to them, but just give it time. It'll happen.
Yeah.
Great music always starts to permeate in its spots and it'll come back and reflect that in
Yep.
value. Were you going to say
And
something?
I realized something also that I didn't realize in the beginning. A lot of this is almost like resume building. Like
Mm-hmm.
my very first placement that I got after Breakthrough was for a network show. I noticed once you could tell people, well, I have a song on the show, then people are like, oh, I want to work with you. Before they would not work with me because they're like, well, do you have placements? No. But then you get that one. And then when you go to the sync agencies and they're like, have you had placements? Oh, yeah, I was on this show. Oh, really? And then they listen and then things just start
Yes.
taking off.
Yes. Yes. You're right. It's about just building. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you can't have everything in one day. It has to be built, like I said,
Yeah.
the foundation, the fundamentals, the structure. So the reason I
Yeah.
always talk about architecture. If we have great songs, great networking, you understand the business, you're able to get fast turnarounds, you start to network, and you do that
Yeah.
with consistency and in a way that has like accountability for your own business building, right? Not like I have to, someone's gonna find me. Just no, keep putting it out there, keep putting it out there.
Yep.
You'll find the right moments, right, and it'll come back to
Mm-hmm.
you. As long
Yep.
as all these things are happening, it always happens that way. I've
Yeah.
never seen it not work, right? I've been doing
Yep.
this for over 20 years. I've never seen it not work. So
Yep.
I'm glad that you're getting to that place where you're getting the place. So tell me about your placements. Like I know you have a bunch lately. Tell me about them.
Yeah. Yeah. So the WWE has been playing my music like crazy. And then Love is Blind, I placed on the newest season. And
Which is
then
Netflix, one of the biggest
uh
shows in the world
on
right now.
Netflix. Yep. And
You know
then
what's crazy is that, hold on real quick. I want to pause there on Love is Blind.
yep.
Did you listen to the soundtrack of Love is Blind?
My episode that my song was on, Ariana Grande and Bill Withers were on the same episode. And I'm like, and
Yeah.
I got to tell you, this was crazy. I first started Breakthrough January of 2024.
Yeah.
I was walking on my treadmill watching Love is Blind, and I said, "Man, I really want a song on the show." Almost 1 year to the day, my song was on there. And then the supervisor loved my music and he placed it on Temptation Island for Netflix.
Because the same supervisor.
Uh-huh.
Because it's a
Yeah.
small world.
Yep. And then I went to an event and I met this sync agency and they wanted to rep my work. And then they asked me if I had R&B stuff. And I love R&B, but like I wasn't really doing it. And I put a package together of them of R&B music. And then CBS's show Beyond the Gates took my music for the show because they do R&B. So
Wow.
that's been
Wow.
crazy.
Well,
And
I just
then
want to
now I'm,
reverse. Hold on. I just want to reverse something. Go back.
yeah.
You just said your song was on the same soundtrack next to Bill
Hmm.
Withers and Ariana Grande
Yep.
in 1 year.
In 1 year.
In
Yeah.
1 year
Yep.
on the biggest Netflix TV show.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And this is also when I started in Breakthrough and I had told Denise, I want to go to Durango. She's like, well, how many songs do you have? I'm like, five.
Yeah.
She's like, are you sure you want to go to Durango? You only have 5 songs? I'm like, yes. Well, as of today, 1 year later, 125 songs fully written, mixed, and mastered. It's insane. And my collaborations, like I'll put it out there, like, oh, I want to work with this indie artist, and I reach out to them, and they're like, yeah, let's
Yeah.
work together. I'm
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah. Remember how I said, listen, when you get to that point, just reach out to people that you want to work with. Find the
I have
best
been.
voices, the people that you go, ooh, who is that? Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Perfect. Oh, that to me is I say this to people all the time. I'm like, listen, the once you start building the whole structure, you can reach out to anyone that you want to work with.
Anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people won't always get back to you,
Yeah.
but sometimes people will and they'll write with you. And sometimes people will just say, I'm busy.
Yeah.
Like,
Listen,
and
maybe in
I've
the
had people
future,
say
circle
that as
back with me.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was somebody who had told me a year ago, like, I'm really busy, but keep reaching out. And I reached out 6 months later. I'm still busy. A year later, and we're on our fourth song together now because I just
Okay, here's the
followed
thing.
up.
Most people would not follow up. This is the
Yeah.
thing about we're talking about building a business.
Yep.
In a business situation, someone says, "Hey, circle back with me." First off, most people will be like, "Oh, my ego's offended, so they're too busy for me."
Yeah.
And then you reach back again, "Oh, they don't really want to work with me." But then you're
Yeah.
like, "No, this is a business. I'm going to follow up with them." And
Yeah.
then you're getting more credits and more credits. And you can also lean in and say, "Well, I just got a credit on, I just got a placement on this TV show and that TV show. So I just want to see if you,"
Yeah.
and then they go, "Yeah, yeah, actually, let's hop in the studio." And then you can knock out a bunch of songs. And what's
Yeah.
happening is
Exactly.
this is only year one. You
Yeah.
keep doubling down, you keep doubling down, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And that's the reason why myself and all the mentors love sharing this information, because once you understand how it works, you can do whatever you want. You can build this into a real career, and your credits are really going to be just what it's kind of like just what happens to pop off without your, because you never know what song becomes a hit. You just know that you make great music, and then someone
Yeah.
sends it to an A&R, and then A&R knows this person, and then it ping pongs off something.
Yep.
But you're in a place now where you can go, I have a system and a formula that works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Bill Withers, Ariana Grande within 1 year. That's pretty insane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
You went from 5 songs
Yep.
and in 1 year, 125 songs, did you say finished?
Yes.
With
Yes.
you're working with now 6 companies, one
Yep.
exclusive, five non-exclusive, and you've had 28 placements.
Yes.
Did I get that all right?
Yes. And also my style of music, I used to really just do pop rock. I do country, I do hip hop, I do rock, R&B, Americana. I mean,
Because you
whatever
realize
makes laugh.
because music is music.
Music's music, yeah. And I
Yeah.
even am starting to like blend. Like I've been doing a lot of hip hop country. I've been doing a lot of like dance rock and
Yeah.
it's really, really cool. And just like collaborating with all different people has been very interesting. And I feel it's a lot like dating also, because you have
Hmm.
some sessions where you're like,
Yep.
cool, but like it just the vibe wasn't there. And then sometimes you're like, whoa, like we are in sync with each other.
And the
So
thing that's cool about the way Breakthrough works is, especially I know my sessions are, and we have so many other amazing mentors, that everyone has a different backstory of knowledge of how they're able to teach.
yeah.
So a lot of times, if you're, let's say, a pop writer, you're only learning from other pop writers because that's all
Yeah,
you're learning from. You're not learning from people who do
exactly.
soul and rock and someone else who might do hip hop. And so
Mhm.
to be able to learn the what we call like the geometry of great songs, you can do it in any genre and doesn't
Mhm.
have to be like I only do this. And so
Yeah.
that's cool because I never thought of it like the way you said it, but we have such a diverse background of mentors, that I can see how that could infuse. And you're just like taking in
Yeah.
knowledge, like, oh, that works over here and that works over there. And
Mhm. Yeah, even watching the videos, like there was a video with Easy McCoy and I like
yeah,
listened to that and I was like, okay, like I'm a drummer. Like
Easy McCoy is one of the top sync
yep.
artists there are. Okay, so you got to
Yeah,
learn
so
from
then I
Easy
got into
McCoy.
hip
Yeah,
hop because I'm like, I got the rhythm. Like I write poetry anyway. So yeah, I just try and do all different things. And I've also
wild.
learned to delegate very well. Like, of course, I want to be great at everything, but I've learned like, and this was very hard. And you know me how I like, sometimes I'll be in a session and people, they don't want to split their song further and they're like, can you sing on it? And I've been very honest with myself. Like, there's been songs where I'm like, listen, this just isn't my style. Like, I'm not going to be what suits the song best. We either need to get a session singer or have, splits. And then also, I'm still learning production. Like, I have to delegate mixing and mastering. I'm not there yet.
Yeah,
So I know where my strengths
your
are.
strengths are,
Yeah,
which is when you come to full accountability of your business.
exactly.
Yeah, of course, we all
Yeah.
do that, right? We're like,
And
okay,
all,
this is not
yeah.
my best thing. Someone else could be better at it, and it'll make the product better.
Exactly. And I'm not precious anymore with like my lyrics or like, I used to be like, oh my God, no, like this is from my head. This has to be in the song. But sometimes your collaborator will have an idea. And even if I'm like, then I hear it, I'm like, they were right. That is better.
Mm,
That works
mm.
better.
Yeah. So to getting a chance to be open in the room and
Exactly.
yeah, and
Yeah, I
fluid. Yeah.
never like cut anyone down or I'm never like this has to I used to, in the beginning I was like, no, this lyric has to be in there. This is perfect. And now I'm like, no, it's not. There's something
Good.
better.
So
Yep.
you've had not only musical growth, but you've had some maturity as a human.
Tons, tons of maturity. Yes.
It's a beautiful
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, and also I remember you used to say like you'll find your tribe.
Yeah.
And I would get like so frustrated. I'm like, what, where this person didn't turn over the song and blah, blah, blah. I have my tribe now. Like I have my team of people and I know when we have a brief deadline, like they're going to get it to me.
Yeah.
Like they
When
are.
they say they're on it, you have people you can trust now. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also my group from Breakthrough, we always, this business, there's ups and downs, and we really pull each other up. Like if one of us is having a day where we're like, man, we thought this was gonna happen and it didn't, this really sucks. Like a few weeks ago, my band got booked for a show and then the booker like canceled. And I can reach out to like my friends from Breakthrough and they're like, girl, come on, let's, yeah, I'm here for you. And like, we'll strategize and talk it out. Or if someone's having a bad
Yeah.
day, like they reach out to me and, like, oh, my mix isn't sounding right. And then we just
They're
help
giving
each
giving
other.
you feed. They're getting feedback from you.
Yeah. But we
They
help each
trust
other
your
as
ear.
friends.
Did you help each other? Say that again.
We help each other as friends. Like if you're just having a down day
Yeah, and
and
which is
you're like, I
important.
want to quit this business. I'm out of here. I'm like, okay, well, I said that last week and you helped me. So now's my turn.
That makes sense because if, especially with musicians, it's really hard because no one else understands what it's like to be a
No,
musician who's trying to make a living or trying to get on some of the biggest, networks and opportunities in the world. Not a lot of people don't realize how hard that is.
no.
There's tons of musicians out there who aren't even trying for that.
Yeah.
They just play music, which is fine. But
Yeah.
it's a different game once you get in this world. And so with the fact that you have friends who can be supportive and kind of have each other's
Yeah.
backs means, like you said, your tribe, you have I cut off. Your tribe is people that you can turn around and look and trust and say, okay, that person's got my back. That person's got the front. I got them on the sides. And as collectively, as you all grow, what happens is as your business grows and so does theirs, you look back after 5 years and you realize, oh, we created something really big here. And this is the part where I'm always like, keep going with your tribe. Because
Yeah.
if everyone's pulling their weight, which they all
Yeah.
are in Breakthrough, because we hold them
Yep.
accountable, but everyone's pulling their weight, it gets to a point where you look around and you go, my friend over here has 100 placements, and my friend over there has 100 placements. My friend
Yeah.
back there has 100 placements. So if I ever need anything, I have my people. And I
Yep.
might meet some new people along the way, but I got my people either way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm. Do me a favor, tell me about what it's like, because in the sense of your mother, you're a
Yeah.
therapist. So we never got
Yeah.
into that. I mean, we're talking about music. Not only did you join a program, but like you joined a program already being a mother and already being a therapist. And I think you have a law degree or something too. So
Yeah. Yeah.
go into that stuff a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I'm really good at time management and I'm really, really good at multitasking. So, I just, I work for myself. So I was able to arrange my schedule. So I just started working at 6 o'clock in the morning and I would get up and do sessions with patients from like 6 to 1 and then dedicate like 1 to 4 to music. And that's what I generally do every day until my kids get home and then time with kids. And then I do more music at night, like 8:30 till 10:30, because a lot of people I work with are in LA. But I also like incorporate my kids. Like I still do voice lessons every week with Scotty. And sometimes if we don't have childcare, like Scotty will do warm-ups like the wheels on the bus because my kids will need to be in there. My kids come to my shows, like if we don't have childcare, my husband will bring my kids and they'll like slap wristbands on them and certain times like writing sessions. Oh, this is perfect example. I had a writing session last weekend with a writer and she has a kid and I'm like, why don't you bring your son? He can play with my kids while we write. And my kids didn't know her child, but she came. So it's kind of just like trying to fit it all in. And I don't tell my patients that I'm a songwriter just because
Yeah.
we keep that wall, but
Yeah.
I use it. I tell them like, because they're all in the arts, and I tell them like I totally understand what it's like. I say like I am in the arts. So I don't like get into detail, but I'm like I know what it's like for rejection and
Yeah.
and I try and like use that as well. But yeah, I mean, if you're really passionate about it, luckily my husband is very, very supportive and my kids, like they just like being involved. They love it when I have a new song that's not mixed and mastered yet and they give their
Get to hear
input.
it. Yeah.
And it's very interesting because you think, you need a professional's ear, which is important, but also like my oldest is 10, she's very into Lady Gaga and Dua Lipa. Like she has a good ear. She can say if she likes it or not based on anything professional, but just
Yep.
like Mommy, that's not catchy. I don't remember, like, I don't remember the chorus. And you're like, okay, I need to rewrite it.
That's honestly, you have a best focus group right there.
Yeah.
Because if a 10-year-old can't remember it,
Yeah.
then especially with how busy social media is, it's gonna be very hard for another kid who's 15 to like pay attention to it. But if a 10-year-old can be driving in the car and remember the melody and remember the
Yeah.
lyrics, then yeah, I mean, you have a great focus group right there with your children.
Yeah, but it is not easy balancing all. And some days I feel like, man, I wasn't present enough for my kids today. Sometimes I'm
Mm,
like, man, I wish I could have been more focused on music, but I've kind of just had to let that go. Like, I'm not going to be perfect at all three things every
yeah.
day. One of the things is going to be on and the other might be off. But, and the other thing I do, I try and dedicate days of the week to different things in music. Like, I have a day just for admin where I'm doing my emails, I'm doing my split sheets, I'm reaching out. I have my day for collaborating. I have my day for more business stuff where I'll like watch, videos or podcasts or on music. And then, I'll have my training day where I do my music, my Studio One lessons and my voice lessons and dance class. So I try and
Wow.
compartmentalize the days too.
Wow. I mean, you sound like you are full time in the sense of your energy,
Yeah.
which is pretty amazing.
Yeah. Have always loved music, but I felt like the ship has sailed. I had a lot of limiting beliefs, like, well, I'm a mom, I'm too old, I can't do this. And then once I let go of those, then I realized like I could do this.
And then some of those limiting beliefs, did you work with Wendy during Breakthrough?
I Wendy changed my life. Yeah. Yeah, I worked with Wendy. I worked with Wendy. I spoke to Wendy like 2 weeks ago. Um, yeah, I did my monthly sessions with Wendy. I did every single group session and she completely like rewired my brain. And she was absolutely amazing. And even my image, I always like kind of knew who I was, but it wasn't as clear. And I worked with Denise, and I have such a clear vision of who I am as an artist and like what my image is. That was like absolutely amazing. And just my writing with like I did Suzanne Ka's private mentorship and the groups. My writing completely transformed working with her. Like there's a balance between writing conversationally, but doing it in a new and different way. And I also get comments, people will say that to me. Like, this is something I would say, but not exactly like this. This is so unique.
Mm.
And she was just absolutely amazing.
And then Scotty too. I guess you're doing vocals with Scotty.
Scotty, I mean, I speak to Scotty every single week. He's my vocal coach, and he's just because he doesn't he focuses on the performance, the spiritual aspect. He teaches me things. This week we're working on tone. I've never even thought about that. Like, we're working on one of my a new song for my show next weekend, and he's having me do the chorus and we practice different tones. And I was like, I never thought of this before. He's just like magical and just amazing. And it's just, I can't even, yeah, it was like the best experience ever. It was unreal. It changed my life.
Good, good. Well, that's the reason why we do this. And
Yeah.
just from me to you, it's you are the reason why we do Breakthrough. It's this kind of results. It's not just music, it's life. Because then you're going to create a ripple effect. And that ripple
Yeah.
effect's going to be way bigger than a company that we've made.
Yeah.
It's not like we're not a college, we're not the traditional. Some people don't even believe Breakthrough's real. I get emails from people who don't believe Breakthrough's real. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they say, oh, no, this looks like a scam. I'm like, what are you talking about? There's a group of people here who are all been
Yeah.
in the industry for a long time doing this. And so
Yeah.
it's really interesting to me. But the reason why I enjoy having these one-on-ones and talking to members and people who've been alumni and seeing these results is because the reason why we do this is far much bigger than just music. It's
Yeah.
about how do we help empower people with the actual tools that they need in order to do a very big dream, but make it into a reality. And then how
Yeah.
can we help them as a human to also radiate from a really beautiful place so they're not learning all these tools and then injecting like anger and
Yep.
fear and depression and manipulation and like putting
Mhm.
all that pain to get there and then throwing all this other negativity into it.
I wish people could have like seen me in the beginning or seen a video. Like, you know how I was like, I can't do this. I was like crying. I'm like, I don't even know how to use my computer and this is never gonna happen. And people like my friends are like, you seem so happy. Like I am because I'm doing what I love. So,
Beautiful. Well, I just want to say I'm very proud of you. This is great what
oh,
you're doing.
well, thank you. I mean, I can't thank you enough for literally like changing my life is putting it lightly. My kids are seeing mommy live their dream. Like my husband is like, you're a different person because you're doing what you love. I've been with my husband for 10 years at this point. He had never seen me perform before. He comes to my shows now and he's like, that's my wife. Like, this is crazy. It's it's been unreal. And just my parents are just like so happy that I'm like finally doing what they know I was meant to do since I was a kid.
It's
So
wild.
yeah,
It's wild.
it's been insane.